I think social procurement's become a really important topic because governments and corporations are looking for new levers to create social value, and procurement is a really obvious one through which to do that. Creating social value on top of the goods and services purchased is a really useful way of generating social value in an efficient way. We've also seen changes in standards, so the ISO standard on sustainable procurement's been introduced. So there's sort of a growing industry and regulatory push towards this kind of work. The Centre for Social Impact is a national partnership between the University of New South Wales, Swinburne University of Technology and the University of Western Australia. We exist to create a better world, and our work is focused primarily on education, research and catalysing change. So the team at CSI Swinburne conducted the survey by first designing the survey with the partners involved in the project. We then piloted that survey with a number of people both in the procurement space and also in research to make sure that it worked. We then sent the survey out online, and partners to the project were involved in actively promoting and recruiting people to participate in the study. And we then cleaned the data and then analysed it. The Centre for Social Impact believes really strongly in working in partnership with practitioners and with communities so that the work we do actually has meaning on the ground. And the other reason to work with partners is that, frankly, partners in industry and in the not-for-profit sector are much better at amplifying and promoting the messages from our research than universities sometimes are. So it's a win-win situation. So the headline insights from the data were, first of all, that there's strong positive sentiment among procurement professionals and social procurement champions, not surprisingly, for social procurement. There was an expectation that the importance of social procurement is only going to grow over the next 10 years or so. We also saw in the data that there was really less than desirable focus on tracking the procurement spend as part of social procurement activities across sectors, and also that a substantial proportion of organisations that are socially procuring don't have specific social procurement targets. That said, we did also see that Indigenous and Maori and Pacifica owned businesses were the most predominant for benefit supplier that organisations are targeting, followed by local and small businesses and then social enterprises. In terms of what was surprising about the data, a couple of things that I thought were interesting was, one, that government organisations were reporting greater resource constraints around doing social procurement than corporate organisations. So that was an interesting finding. And apart from that, not huge surprises, but we did ask about the impacts of COVID, and interestingly, about 30% of organisations said that COVID had possibly increased their appetite for social procurement. So CSI Swinburne has a fairly active research program on social procurement. We're currently undertaking a project funded by the Australian Research Council looking at the implementation of the Victorian social procurement framework compared to the implementation of social procurement policy in Scotland. And we're also looking forward to working in partnership with the organisations involved in this project on future iterations of this work. One of the things that the research showed, which we did know to some degree, is that the workforce profile implications of social procurement are quite significant. Social procurement requires a strategic rather than a purely operational mindset about what procurement is for and how you do it. And that has implications for the kinds of skill sets and capabilities of workforce professionals in the procurement space.
Hey.